Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out, your Real Talk Friday edition. Me and Kristen Evans hanging out again. If you would like to come in to the Nerdatorium, go to dustinrounds.com/join. Hang out with us. Kristen, what's the word?
Not much, man. I know when we were talking earlier today, I was like, the last thing I want to do is work today, and I have gotten so much done. And
Look,
I feel like it's one of that happens so frequently where I'm like, I don't want to do this, and then I sit down and I just like power through stuff, and I feel super productive going into the weekend. So maybe I should come in with a bad attitude.
oh, interesting method. Yes. Okay.
It's an interesting take on it. How about you?
Doing good. I feel the same way, except wasn't as productive as I anticipated I was going to be today. I didn't have a lot of calls, and I wanted to knock some bigger thinking, strategic things out, and I just didn't get to enough of them. And but I still have the afternoon so I'm hopeful. And I'm off the booze until affiliate summit, so
Oh,
keeping me clean and getting me some extra Saturday and Sunday morning work in, which
nice.
is great. So yeah, how what was any key things happen this week to you?
I think there's just been a lot of kind of relationship management this week, and trying to, streamline some processes while making sure that people are like taken care of. Communication's been a big one this week for me. Just trying to like ensure that everything is being said in the right way and a productive way versus a way that maybe isn't very helpful to, moving things forward or solving greater problems. So that's been kind of a top of mind, I guess, for me. I mean, I think, I like to use the phrase communication is kindness. And there are some times when communication or no communication at all is a better option in order to kind of keep that kindness, keep that relationship moving forward rather than, having a total miscommunication.
Oh,
That makes sense.
yeah, I ran into a situation this week where my words via typing didn't come out and articulate what I was going after,
Yeah.
and typing is subjective, reading is subjective to the tone, especially if somebody doesn't know you well enough to, like,
Mhm.
recognize that. If you're very familiar with me and my text, I'm gonna be joking and dry and, um, trying to make people smile, but if you don't know me, I might come off as rude and brash and, unappreciative, so, um I think highlighting the fact of, like, choosing my words a little bit wiser. I heard something pretty profound earlier, uh, maybe like 6 months ago is, don't try to be funny on the first time you're, connecting with somebody, and I've been trying my best to learn and live by this, and, uh, you know, this week I had a mishap where I didn't get that, uh, in place, and, it just blew up in my face, so that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, there are various kinds of communication that need to be said, like, out loud, and then there's kinds that you can kinda just internalize a little bit, say them in your head, and, I think that that's where a lot of people kind of misstep, and especially early in, like, kind of building those relationships is that, like, um especially in this industry, like, we often kind of feel like we know each other better than we really do, like, "Oh, because I've been so familiar with your name for so long," or like, "I've met you at a conference twice or something. I feel like I can talk to you this way," when in reality, like, that's not always the case. You have to really kind of read the room, read the boundaries, but also, like, because it is a relationships-based industry, I think it's really easy to step into that casual sphere, but we have to remember that it is an industry and therefore business too, when we are talking to people and about people and, everybody talks. So, make sure that when you are talking to someone or about someone, you're always leading with kindness and with the kind of lead of wanting to be helpful more than hurtful.
Mhm.
I think that, I think it's easy to forget sometimes, and especially with the way so many of us, are constantly communicating via text versus via face to face or even voice to voice.
Yeah, and this week brought up something that I didn't recognize enough about myself is how much I take to heart things that are uh maybe misconstrued. Like and my need internally to make up for it is very interesting. I would really love to be somebody that didn't care.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I would really love that capability of, like, just brushing things off and letting it go and, like, moving on. It's just not in me right now. I think it's a skill that you may develop, or could develop or
Less a skill and it's more a skin, I think. I mean, I experience, and I still care very, very deeply what people think. I hate the concept or the idea that somebody may think unfavorably of me for some, again, miscommunication, is kind of what it all comes down to. But I'm very much a people pleaser, but I've also like learned in a lot of cases where people deserve my energy and where maybe they just don't. And it's just like, I saw something really funny on TikTok today, that was something like, somebody was being like, "Oh my god, you're self-centered," and the person's like, "Well, yeah, I am, because I'm the center of my world," And, like, you can care about other people, but, like, how much, Like, there has to be a point where it's kind of like, "Okay, is that really worth all of this, like, strife and trauma and, all of that you put it through, and especially if the other person doesn't care, because nobody is gonna care about you as much as you care about you, and that's kind of what it all comes down to, and that one has been kind of a big mindset shift for me because, like, I used to just want people to, like, really, really like me regardless, and now I'm a little bit more like, "I don't know, do I?"
yeah. Good.
Like, if you like me naturally and I don't have to feel stressed out and trying around you, then, like, cool, that's great. That's the person I wanna give my energy to, And, like, not everybody's gonna like you. That's, like, statistically impossible.
For sure. I've said it for years. I'm not for everybody, but you give me a little time and, I'll turn the tables if you have that bad first impression. So, uh, y yes, I think it's something I really wanna work on a little bit harder of, like, the noise that I shouldn't be paying attention to needs to, take a back burner,
Yeah.
um, and not divert my attention so much. Um, but overall, like, can't complain about the week. Inflection had this super cool, functionality upgrade of, like, adding in a recruitment function to the platform altogether. So, like, now we've got an integration with a really top-notch platform and an API that's working directly, and affiliate managers can come in and actually, like, recruit, influencers that are a good fit depending on what they're searching for, and it is really, really cool to be a part of something like that.
Ooh, I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, yeah, give it a run. Uh, what about your clientele? Everything going smooth this week?
Yeah, I mean, everything's just kind of chugging along. We're setting up a bunch of meetings for Affiliate Summit. And I realized looking at my roster the other day that I had the ability to put together a really cool multi-brand pitch, just based on like some overlap between a lot of the clients. And it's getting a decent amount of traction, as far as interest, which I'm really excited about. We have some amazing partnerships coming up with a couple of my clients as well that I can't wait. We're still tracking numbers and are in the middle of a relationship with Grow Bible. And like, it's just, there's a lot of things that are kind of all clicking right now. Which is really exciting, especially with affiliate something coming up, and then I'll be able to like meet these people in like face to face and like we can kind of share in those successes together. And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and with the networking capability of the app, are you utilizing this to its power?
Yeah, and in the app, like, every day, all day, for sure. And it's funny because a lot of like, I'm not stacking my days like I know you stack your days because I would just be a heap of nothingness at the end of it. Um, but I'm very strategically setting up some meetings. There's a couple of people, and I've done this for years, especially when I was on the publisher side, but been test running it with a couple of my friends as well the last couple of years on the agency and management side. Is stacking meetings with each other. Like if we know we're both meeting with a publisher and we're going to have to talk about, clients in similar space, we will, kind of team up and tag team some of those meetings, especially if one of us is having a hard time getting a meeting with a publisher, we'll be like, hey, just come join in and like do your elevator pitch real quick and all of that. And it just makes it a much more efficient machine without really like exhausting everything. So I get time for some of that. We can't believe I'm going to say this, but organic networking, like when you're in like the VIP area or just kind of like hanging around somewhere and you get to see your friends or like you see somebody with a tab that you recognize and you're like, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I really like those moments. Those are some of my favorites. And I think that sometimes those are more productive than sitting at a table with somebody and talking to them for 15 minutes while they're looking at their calendar, trying to figure out what their next 15-minute, time slot is. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just being really strategic about it, but the stuff that I have on the book so far, I'm really excited about.
That is awesome. I need to be a little better about that. Like,
It just trust me how
yeah, yeah, the schedule, I like pounding it in and I find the time to network with people in that kind of fashion of like a chill and like hang out in a group and organic at the parties. Like that's when I do that organic business and then we don't talk business necessarily, but it's good to see people and connect in those ways. But uh maybe I shouldn't, like yeah, oh, the meetups. The meetups are a really good opportunity for that organic that you're talking about, but again, it's in my schedule to go to those meetups, like, I blocked that off on my calendar to go do that, so, I'm very excited about it. I'm gonna have a video about ASW and, like, utilizing it.
yeah.
I figured out a way how to scrape the contacts on it and then use AppyStash to go and rip the URLs from each one of these and ChatGPT to like automate this. So I built out the entire list of affiliate summit attendees on my own. Like
No.
and I'm not gonna share that video like every step of the way, but like I can show people how to get it done. And it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm just excited about it. Like, it's one of my favorite events, being able to see old friends, new friends. The PMA brunch is one of my favorite events every year. That's always a really good one, and we've got an excellent new board this year, so excited to see everybody there. Spark Partnerships is also sponsoring that.
Yay.
And then, I'm gonna have some products from a couple of my clients, so I'm super excited to share some of those with people. There's gonna be some oxygen canisters from Revo too, which will help. If you've seen those oxygen bars in Vegas, like, obviously you're familiar with the fact that, like, they can help give you a little bit more of a boost. And Revo 2 is great for athletes and all of that. I'm going to have some snack sticks from Porter Road. And then I might have some seltzers from Delta as well. So lots of cool things. So it's a good opportunity
Excellent.
for snagging.
All right. I need to get on that. Some of my clients love your liver is like this uh
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a shot that you take before you drink or after you drink and helps you not be hungover and it's helping the enzymes in your liver and great for comfort.
Literally sounds perfect for Vegas.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna see if I can't sneak a box in there. But cool product. So all right. Well, next week we'll do this again and then we're off to Vegas to see all the folks.
So excited.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you on that plane. All right. Have a good week. We'll see you later.
And bye.